On the right hand side of my screen we can see the project browser. The project browser is used to navigate through all the different views contained within your project. So for my example here, I've got a very simple project, 4 walls, I've got a few doors and a few windows in it. So if, for example, I would like to see a floor plan of this particular project, I have a floor plan group here towards the top of the project browser, and each plan view is listed as a separate entry under that group name. So if I want to go to level 0 floor plan, if I double click, it opens the floor plan view. If I want to go back to my 3D view, a little further down the project browser, I have the 3D views group, and underneath there at the moment I only have one 3D view, which is the default one. If I double click on its name, it returns back to the 3D view. Now some of these group names are collapsed, i.e. they've got a little cross next to them. If I click on the cross, it expands what's in the group. So here's the elevations group, and there are 4 elevation views set up, and again all I need to do is double click to open a particular view. So if you're familiar with Windows Explorer in the Windows operating system, it's a very similar sort of principle. Think of these as almost folders and files, a way of organizing your system. Well, this project browser is a way of organizing your project. So let's say, for example, you're working on a new school. You would open your school Revit project file, just a single file off your server. Once you have that project open in Revit, all the different views connected with that single project would be listed in here, and they'd be grouped appropriately. So all you need to do to work on your project is to open the view in question that you're interested in. Then you could edit some of these elements, you could add new elements, you could switch to a different view. So later on in the course I'll take you through all these different view types and how to create additional views. But for now it's just important to know the purpose of this project browser palette, and as we've said, its primary purpose is to help organize all the different views and assets in your project and to enable you to easily navigate between them. We just talked a little about navigating our way around the project browser. Just want to cover that again in a little bit more detail now to make sure that you fully understand it. So all our different view types are organized into groups. This is done automatically by Revit. You don't have to create these group names, i.e. floor plans, ceiling plans, 3D views, etc. They're created automatically as required. Each group name either has a little plus or a minus next to it, which basically means you can collapse the group name to hide all the different views contained within it, or you can expand it to see those views again. Now you'll appreciate this is a very simple project that I've got on screen at the moment, so there are relatively few different views in here. For a typical real life project in Revit, you could start getting hundreds of views all in different groups in this project browser. So you can imagine this is going to get pretty busy in here, and you may need to collapse some of these that you're not using to make better use of the screen space that you do have. You can actually set up custom browser organizations, and I've got a tutorial dedicated to that on the BIMscape website. This that you're looking at now is just the default browser organization, which is just by view type. So all the floor plans are put together, then the ceiling plans, but there are virtually an infinitely different number of different ways to reorganize this browser depending on what works best for you. In terms of the view names, just show you very quickly, if you do a single click to highlight a view name and then you right click, you can rename these views, you can delete these views. Later on in the course I'll be showing you how to create new view types, so new floor plans, new 3D views, new sections, elevations and so forth. In the last unit we looked at the properties palette, and as part of that unit we looked at how we can change the location of the palette and redock it elsewhere on the screen. Just going to quickly do the same for the project browser. It's exactly the same technique that you use on the properties palette. So pick the project browser up by its title bar, hold your left mouse button down, and you can now drag it anywhere on the screen. If it's not docked, it will just float. I don't find it particularly useful to have it floating because, as you can see, it gets in the way of your model, or depending where you put it, gets in the way of some of these important icons and tools at the base of a view. Much better to have it docked somewhere. So again, if you want it docked to the top of the screen, make sure your cursor's up near the top or just under the ribbon. You can see it's offering to dock it there. Likewise, move it to the bottom of the screen and it will dock it across the bottom. Move it next to your properties palette and you can dock it adjacent to there. Move your cursor on top of the title bar of the properties palette and you can dock it so it's tabbed with the properties palette, but you have to use the tabs at the bottom to switch between the two. Or if you just hover over the properties palette itself but not on the title bar, you can actually stack it on top. Does mean that you're going to have to scroll a little bit more because obviously you can't see the full extent of the project browser there. So again, I'll just undock that and put it back on the right hand side. Remember to dock it on the right. You're going to have to take your cursor right over to the edge of the application window, and only then will the border show that it's going to dock on the right hand side. Let go of the mouse button and it redocks. And finally, to complete this unit, I'm going to show you how to toggle on and off the display of the project browser itself. So at the moment, as you can see, the project browser is on. I'm going to close it now by just hitting the little X at the end of the title bar. The project browser gets put away. Two methods of bringing it back. If I right click in my drawing area towards the bottom of this little floating menu, I have browsers. If I hover over that, I can see project browser and system browser. Don't worry about system browser at this point. That is for the MEP side of Revit. It's the project browser we're interested in. So click that. Oh, there's my reminder to save the project. Just cancel out that for now. And my project browser comes back. Just put it away again to show you the second method. If you switch to the view menu, and right at the end of the ribbon, user interface, click on that. We have an entry there, project browser. Put the tick box back on and the project browser reappears. And that completes this unit. To get the most out of this training material, please take the complete course online at bimscape.com. Here you will find a complete learning management system that allows you to work through the course at your own pace. Comprehensive written tutorials provide additional information to that found in the training videos. Mark each unit as complete as you finish it and move on to the next. At any point you can return to any of the units you have previously completed to go over the material again. If you'd like to take this course online, please visit www.bimscape.com
bimscape.com/Revit for details.